So great. So I'm Dr. Scyatta Wallace, and I am a researcher and a psychologist. And I recently started my own business, so I'm an entrepreneur as well. And I would say that, my journey began a long time ago. My family are immigrants to the United States, and originally from West Africa. And I lived in different parts of the world. And I think that that experience really helped me in terms of understanding how so much of who we are, we're very alike. And then
Right.
also that we have very different cultures. And so I think
Mhm.
that, a lot of that really molded and shaped me as I grew. And I wanted to mention that because sometimes we don't realize how where we live and what we do, how it really affects us, even in terms of what we do when we become adults when we're kids.
Right.
So that was one thing that was big because I lived in many different countries. And then so when I was younger, I was really into science a lot. I loved to do a lot of the different science fairs and something that we had called the Olympics of the Mind in my school. It
Okay.
was a national competition where you got to like figure out how to build things and you
Mhm.
worked in teams. And I really loved math a lot. And so I was really
Mhm.
fortunate to be able to go to a middle school that was focused on STEM. And
Wow.
I had a science teacher that pulled me aside and she was like, you're really, really great at science and you can be a scientist one day. But she said to me, sometimes people will look at you and say, because you're a girl and because you're a woman of color, that you're not going to be able to do that. But I want you to remember that I told you that you can. I see that you have that
Mhm.
talent that you can. And, she was a great teacher and I really looked up to her. And I always remembered that. I didn't understand what she was talking about at the time. I was in the seventh
Yeah.
grade, but I remembered she said that. And so that was something else that I want to just make sure to tell everyone, that if you have teachers or family members or people in your community that tell you things about how talented you are, or they believe in you, or they think that you're such a kind person and you contribute, like those are things that you should carry with you, because they see something in you, even if you don't see it in yourself. And
Mhm.
and even to this day, like if I got a chance to meet her again, I would give her the biggest hug because it really meant a lot to me, even though it
Yeah.
was so many, many years ago. So I ended up going into science. I went
Wow.
to college and I actually thought I was going to go into medicine. So I was pre-med and I took a
Mhm.
lot of classes and I realized I really liked the psychology classes a lot. And so that's what I
Mhm.
ended up pursuing, was psychology for my degree. But because I was always interested in science, I actually ended up choosing the research side of psychology and not the
Okay.
clinical therapy side. I focused on the
Mhm.
research side. And so that's sort of another thing that I wanted to share, is that when you're in school, whether it's high school, whether it's college, you want to think about the things that you really enjoy and
Right.
follow that, because it can lead you to a career that you might not have even imagined. Because I never thought that I would be doing like psychology research. I thought I was going to be doing more medical side of research. And so that's sort of how I landed into doing what it is that I'm doing.
Wow, that's amazing. What a great journey you've had so far, and how your childhood impacted where you are today. Uh,
Hmm.
that's really nice to hear. And could you tell us more about your company and that you started recently?
Yes, I will. So I started my company, which is Janisol Company, and it's
Mhm.
actually named after my grandmother, who had a huge
Okay.
impact on me. She was
Mhm.
a very kind person. She was not formally educated.
Mhm.
She had a high school education, but other than that, she didn't have a lot of education. But she had a huge impact. When she passed away, her funeral, she had literally thousands of people. You would have thought that she had some type of fancy title. She was very, very kind and impactful. So I named my company after her, to always remember that, I have a purpose and a reason for doing this, and it's to be impactful to people. So my company really focuses on supporting women and girls who are in STEM, and really focusing on building leadership skills. So like you are amazing leaders. The fact that you took this idea of providing news to young people, and then you've, built something, you interviewing people, you go over the news, you have all the wonderful graphics on your site. I mean, it takes a lot of leadership to say, I have an idea, I want to build something, and I'm going to have the confidence to do that. And not a lot of women and girls have that, and they don't have the support to know how to do that. And so that's what it is that my company does. We work with companies and we work with different types of institutions, schools, and universities to help provide programs to help women learn and girls learn how to build those leadership skills.
Wow, that's amazing. What a great initiative.
You're giving a lot of opportunities to many women and girls of color. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really not about giving them opportunities. It's helping them see that they already have that, similar to what that teacher did with me. It's somebody telling you you have that already, and this is what you can do with it.
And what do you enjoy the most about what you do?
Yeah, meeting people like you. I really enjoy meeting people. I really enjoy the chance for me to support people in really building what they already know they have inside of themselves in terms of their confidence, in terms of their skills, and and really seeing people thrive. That's the thing that I enjoy the most about it. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much. And finally, what is your advice to kids or the next generation?
The next generation. Well, I will say that I love the next generation. I love your confidence. I love the fact that you really you're not waiting until you get to be grown up to build your ideas and to actually contribute. And that's that. So I would say continue to do that, continue to blossom and grow. And if there's things that you want to do now, you can work towards doing that now. You don't have to wait until you're grown up to do that. So that would be my advice, is just to keep being your unique selves, because I feel like so optimistic when I see young people like yourself doing these great things.